Hey folks, welcome to the new video. Here in this video, I wanted to share one of the some old interview experience. It was the interview experience which I was attended when I was having 2 years of experience. So whenever I was going through my notes, I see some earlier interviews. I have written down the questions, but I haven't covered that in the videos. So I came up with this. Okay. You can consider if you are having 1 to 2 years of experience in DevOps, this kind of questions will be expected, like mostly beginner level and some intermediate questions you can say. Okay, and moving to the questions part, the first question was what is CI/CD and why it is important. Basically, CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment, or delivery also we can say. It's a DevOps practice that helps to automate the integration of code changes and their deployment into a production. This important because it reduces the manual effort and detects issues in the early stages of the CI/CD, the early stages of the SDLC, speeds up the release cycle and ensures more reliable deployments. In my current role, I have CI/CD pipelines and central we can manage and we can deliver the code efficiently and consistently across the environment. Okay, this is how you can answer. And moving to the next question, describe your experience setting up a CI/CD pipeline with Jenkins, Git and Maven. I still remember he haven't asked focused on entire pipeline. He focused on 3 tools, which is Jenkins as a CI/CD server, Git and Maven, how you integrate that. You can answer in such a way: I have set up a CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins and integrated Git for version control and Maven as a build tool to automatically build the code. And the pipeline includes the stages for code checkout, then build, and in that unit test cases and static code analysis by using SonarQube, and Artifactory package management by using Nexus. And we also had deployment stages using Ansible or Kubernetes for specific environment. I wrote and maintained a Jenkins for defining the pipeline as a code and making it easier to version it and update it further. Okay, this is how you can answer. And moving to the next question, how do you integrate code analysis tools like SonarQube into CI/CD? Sorry, third question I haven't covered. What is a Jenkinsfile and why it is used? Basically, Jenkinsfile is a text file that contains the definition of a Jenkins pipeline, and it was written in a Groovy script, and that was stored in the source code repository. We can map that in such a way, and we can use it to implement pipeline as a code, we can say, which allows to use to maintain a version control for CI/CD logic, and that will also improve the transparency and make collaboration easier. And in my project, I have used Jenkinsfile to define multi-stage pipeline, including build, test, code analysis, and later on deployment stages. And moving to the next question, fourth question, how do you integrate code analysis tools like SonarQube into a CI/CD pipeline? Basically, SonarQube will come in CI stage only, continuous integration stage. You can answer in such a way. I integrated the SonarQube into a Jenkins pipeline by adding a stage that uses the SonarQube scanner. First, we configured the SonarQube credentials, like server details within the Jenkins. Then, in the Jenkins file, we add a separate step to run the Sonar scanner with the appropriate project keys and source directories. The analysis report helps us to track code quality and detect the bugs and enforce standards early in the pipeline stages. And also SonarQube provides a UI where we can give the developers, access to the developers. They can assign the issue to the team and work on the respective thing, and they can track the what is the update on that also in the UI itself. Okay, moving to the fifth question, can you give an example of a bash script to automate a routine task like health checks? Basically, I have automated. Majorly I use the script in to check whether the service is up or not. Let's say if first of all we need to write a shebang line and then we need to specify the service. Let's say Nginx services is equal to Nginx whatever the service, let's say Jenkins or Docker, whatever it is, and we need to write a for loop where we need to specify service in the above services. We can do systemctl is active -, quit. Basically what it does was, if systemctl, if the service is found active, then it will say echo particular service name is active, okay. Else it will say echo service is not active and trigger a mail to the respective admin team or whatever the targeting, okay. That is the task how you use it. And in many interviews you will be asked as a DevOps engineer, they will expect to write scripts what have you used it, especially in shell script as well as in Python also they will expect, so be prepared for that also. And it is a kind of scenario question. Sixth question, how do you manage Linux server configuration and deployments? And seventh also it seems to be similar, okay. It is regarding troubleshooting, okay. Coming to the sixth question, how do you manage server configuration, Linux server configuration and deployments? For configuration management, I use Ansible as a tool. I wrote the playbooks within the Ansible to configure the servers and install it required packages, let's say, and set up some environment variable in multiple servers. For deployments we use Ansible or Kubernetes depending on the applications, and I also use shell scripts to automate minor setup tasks whenever it is necessary, and whenever I'm working with a large number of servers, at that time Ansible will be the preferred tool for me, okay. And the seventh question was, how do you troubleshoot a common Linux enrollment issues? Basically we can check the logs under var logs, and we can use the commands like top, htop, netstat and ps to check the resource stage, like resource status. We can see what is the usage of the resource, like disk space, and what is the process it was using, and CPU, memory utilization. For network issues related, we can use a ping curl, where it will try to ping the IP address, and curl it will check the telnet, and netcat also we can use, and trace route. These are the network level troubleshooting commands I will use, and I will find the issues. Coming to the eighth question, what daily monitoring tasks or health checks do you perform on servers? I check server uptime, disk space, memory usage, CPU load, and service statuses. We use Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring and logging tools, and I also review Jenkins and application logs. Additionally, I will ensure any recent deployments have success or failure, and verify that there is no kind of failing errors in the CI pipeline. If there is any failing errors, I will try to troubleshoot on that first and resolve that. And moving to the ninth question, how you collaborated with Agile teams to improve delivery process or code quality? Basically, we used to attend daily stand-up and sprint retrospectives to sync with developers and the testers team. I set up a Jira dashboard to provide a visibility into the deployment and build statuses. We also work together to define CI/CD pipelines and enforce code quality checks using tools like SonarQube and pre-commit hooks. And 10th question was, can you give an example for identifying and fixing performance bottlenecks in deployment process? Basically, we have noticed that our Maven build tool and deployment were taking too longer time, more than about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I analyzed the Jenkins build stage and found redundant steps and optimized the dependencies. After restructuring the flow within the Jenkins file and using the incremental build approach, we reduced the time to almost 30% was reduced. And here Maven caching of Maven dependencies also helped a lot to troubleshoot on this issue. And the 11th question was, which Git branching strategy do you follow and how do you handle merge conflicts? We follow Git flow branching strategy, which is future branches and develop as well as release, and there is a main branch also. For merge conflicts, I usually pull the latest changes and resolve the conflicts manually using git merge tool, or I will also directly do in the code itself and test the changes locally and then push the final version after conflict, like confirmation was received. That is how we can handle the merge conflict. And the next question was, how would you troubleshoot a network connectivity issue using a common tools? Okay. First of all, whenever we are facing the network connectivity issue, first I will use ping command to check ping and IP address or host name. I use that ping to basically check the basic connectivity is getting or not. Then I can perform trace route to see where the packets are getting dropped. If a specific port is not responding, I will use telnet to check port connectivity issue, and netcat also, NC also we can use, and I also check the firewall rules using the IP tables and UFW and the DNS resolution with dig, where it will provide some analysis on DNS, and ENS lookup also works the same. Okay, and moving to the next question, what key items would you include in a daily enrollment status report? We basically include, and we can include server and service uptime status, recent build and deployment outcomes, resource usage metrics like CPU, memory, disk, and pending issues or any incidents need to be worked, and changes pushed in the enrollment, and what is the monitoring and alerting summary, any blocked items or any risky in the environment. These are the things to be logged, reported. And the 14th question was, how do Agile methodologies influence your DevOps practices? Agile promotes a frequent iterations and a quick feedback. In DevOps work aligns by enabling in rapid deployment, and automated testing can be done, and continuous integration. Agile ceremonies help to identify blockers early, and we can use the CI/CD tools to ensure fast and reliable delivery in each and every sprint. And the final question was, how do you explain complex technical solutions to a non-technical stakeholder? It's a kind of a scenario-based question. What do you do in this particular case? In this particular case, I can break down the solution into business impact rather than technical details. Let's say, for example, instead of saying I optimized the Jenkins pipeline, I can say I reduced the deployment time to 30%, which makes a new feature rather than user faster. Okay, and I also use a kind of simple diagrams and analogies whenever I get a time to present or whenever it is needed. Okay, yeah, I think these are the questions I have faced in that particular interview, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching the video.